Hey y'all, good morning. I was on my drive into the office and I thought I would share with you one of the wildest, craziest showing that ever happened in my real estate career. So I had a listing and it was tenant occupied and they had all these dogs, and it was a unique family situation with a 60-something-year-old mom and a 30-something-year-old son. It was really difficult to set up showings. They didn't want to make it available, so I was having a hard time getting the property sold. And finally, I had this call, super interested client, and so they went out for the showing, and I'm expecting that everything's going great. I get a phone call from the buyer's agent, and she says, hey, we're out at the property, and since the house only has 2 bedrooms, we'd really like to see both of the bedrooms. And I was like, well, certainly, of course you would. What's the problem? And she said, well, the son is in the bedroom still asleep. And I'm like, what do you mean still asleep? It's like 2 in the afternoon. And she said, I know, and we'd really like to see it before we leave. So I hang up, I call the mama, and I said, hey, mama, I set this up with you yesterday, and you guys knew somebody was coming to see the house at 2 o'clock today, and your son's in the bed. So could you go in there and get him up and get him out of the bedroom so that they can see the property before they leave? And she said, well, I'll try, but he's really hard to wake up. And I was like, oh my God, you better get him out of that bed. So I assume that she does. About an hour later, I get in touch with the buyer's agent, and I said, hey, did everything work out? Did you guys see what you need to see? And she said, oh, we got to see the second bedroom, but the mom didn't get her son up out of bed. She went in there and just opened the door and let us look in. And I said, with him in the bed? And she said, yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And she's like, no. I'm thinking, what in the world? There's no telling what she could have seen when they opened that door. And I just thought, there's no way this really just happened. But yeah, these people got to see the bedroom, with somebody laid up in the bed sleeping. And I'm guessing he was covered, but good Lord, isn't that crazy? So that's why it's hard to show properties when tenants are in place. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye.